Hey everybody, peace and gratitude for being here with me now. I just went live on YouTube to let you know that I would be making this video, so I hope you're able to tune in. This video is about you are alive and haunting places. Right now I've hiked a little path on a friend's property up here to this beautiful lookout where in the background I have Mount McLaughlin right here. And a little farther over this way, which we can't quite see, is Table Rock in southern Oregon. And I'm feeling really blessed to have such a beautiful view behind me and this big open space. And the sun is out and it's a little chilly, so I got my scarf, got my coat. Thanks for tuning in. So let's get right down to it. I'm sure many of you are wondering what it means to be alive and haunting a place. And there's two key points that I really want to touch on in this video, which is one, residual haunting, and two, poltergeist activity. So most commonly with paranormal activity, whether you see any type of ghost hunters, ghost adventures, or psychic mediums or priestesses out there working with people who are experiencing paranormal activity in their home, are struggling commonly with what is known as a poltergeist activity. And some people have commonly misinterpreted poltergeist activity as being a ghost or a demonic spirit. Poltergeist activity is actually a manifestation of an entity from your own personal traumatic experience. Also, another thing that is commonly a common occurrence for people with any type of paranormal activity is a residual haunting, which is said to be a haunting of something or someone that is on a pattern or a path that has occurred in the past and repeats itself over a period of time, and you will catch the essence of or the reoccurrence of this activity from them repeating this act within what could be known as a time loop, or stuck on a quote-unquote in-between space or the gray space in a residual type of haunting. What most people don't commonly think of when it comes to poltergeist activity or residual haunting is that it could be you. And I'm going to get a little more in detail about why. With poltergeist activity, as I said a few moments ago, being commonly an occurrence of an entity manifested from your traumatic experience, not only is that something that could be recreated from, say, a loved one has passed, and you're not dealing with the death of this loved one very well, or if you have been abused in some type of situation, where some people will experience in their home a poltergeist activity, and they have a medium or a priestess or some kind of paranormal professional go in and do research and try to help the client or the person with this poltergeist activity, that it is being addressed towards them. As conscious projectors, we could leave the remnants and the essence of a poltergeist within a home or a place that we no longer reside in. This is something that gets left behind. So similar with a residual haunting, the experiences we have in our dream state when we are sleeping easily gets affected and projected into the places that we have previously resided in, that we have left behind some sort of traumatic experience, or are so strongly and emotionally and spiritually connected to this place that we have a pattern that repeats. And whether we think about it in our daily lives and it gets projected there in our daily lives, it is also something that happens when we are sleeping and we have the remnants of going back to places we once loved or longed for or lived in, whether it was positive or negative. I have had personal experiences with having dreams of not only family members, but clients that are kind of in this in-between space or this gray space where they are on repeat in a pattern. The place that they are inhabiting is an old home, an old location, a school building, somewhere where they took classes of some kind, or they worked, or had any type of abusive experience, even if it was in the home of someone that was a babysitter or a friend or a confidant. There are lots of locations and personal experiences that people have gone through that have left an imprintation of energy behind. And in this way, we find that when certain ghost adventures or ghost hunters go out into the field, any type of paranormal professional or anyone seeking out to give guidance or to find knowledge or research about a location have a poltergeist activity or they have a residual haunting, it is not always someone who has passed on. It is not always someone who has it's not always someone who has died, and it's not always a demonic entity. It's a lot of times the projections of what we have experienced in this lifetime getting left behind. So if you guys have any questions about this specifically, please feel free to ask in the comments below. I know that there's a wide range of information that I can go detailed about when it comes to poltergeist activity and when it goes down to residual hauntings and other types of hauntings. The biggest key point about this entire video is that as a medium myself and as someone who is very familiar with paranormal activity, I support cleansing the planet. I support releasing spirits and our emotional bodies back to a neutral, positive, and evolved higher vibrational level so that we can continue to live peaceful lives, that our children continue to live peaceful lives, and that our ancestors and any other spirits that are still predominantly attached to this planet can move on in a positive way. With that being said, it is about inner work. It is about the deep emotional work that you are doing. If you have experienced trauma, pain, anything in a specific location, even if it's good, there is a essence and a remnants of that energy that is left behind. And it is really important to be aware of the inner work that you're doing on an emotional level, that it is not just affecting yourself, and it is not just affecting people within your circle, but based on places that you have lived and been, could be affecting complete strangers. And when these people go in and do specific types of ceremonies or cleansing for locations where energy has been left behind, not only if it is releasing a past life version of yourself or someone who has passed on, it could be releasing a present version of yourself that you have still held on to, that really cleanses the deep emotional body and the stuckness of that emotional body in that place. So this is a good video to help remind you of the importance of the emotional and spiritual work that you are doing within yourself and what it means to release attachments and cut cords with not only people but locations for living healthier, more positive lives and getting back to a place where we're supporting our positive evolution as a world, as a whole, as humanity, and within this planet. It helps make the planet healthier. Not only are we in so many ways affecting the planet in many forms of negative, whether it's physical, emotional, or spiritual, whether it's from not recycling or from waste, or whether it's from the emotional manipulation that we do to ourselves and to our others and how that affects our spiritual body. But we're constantly checking ourselves and needing to reflect. We feel an ache in our hearts to be better. And I know from personal experience, communication with my clients and with my loved ones, that many people have held on to locations, have held on to people, have held on to significant sacred places that they have traveled to. And everywhere we go, we are leaving energy and we are taking energy. And it is super important to be aware of the butterfly effect of that and what it means to really do that inner work to cleanse the emotional well-being within you and that emotional body. So like I said earlier, if you have any questions about what it means to have a poltergeist energy or to leave a residual haunting, to know that it doesn't necessarily mean that the paranormal that you are experiencing is because of someone that has passed on or because of a demonic spirit, but it could be as simple as someone who has left the essence and the energetic remembrance of their life before behind in the location that you are in. Or if you're needing advice or help on anything in relation to this, please feel free to leave a comment or to reach out. I hope that you found this informational, and thanks for tuning in.